thank you for coming. When I was trying to figure out what this meeting was all about, I had a chance to speak with Chris. He was really kind. It was about midnight his time when we got a chance to connect. And we chatted about a bunch of things, and one of the things he says, well, be provocative. So I tried to be a little provocative. I'm going to try and be a little more provocative in this talk, just to, as a group, it's nice to kind of push thinking. And you may not agree with me, that's okay, but I don't think hopefully you won't fall asleep. And we'll see what comes out of this. And what I want to do broadly is give you a little sense of the organization briefly that I'm with, and then and so I modified it, so this probably isn't quite what you expect, so I've changed it a little bit. I modified what I was going to talk about based on what we heard today to try and weave a little of what we talked about into it, and then maybe either present those in kind of a summary or a new way, and then put forward a couple new ideas for us to chew on later maybe. So I'm at the William Davidson Institute, and I'm also on the faculty at the Ross School of Business at the University of Michigan. Just really briefly, what do we do at the Davidson Institute? I mean, we talked about, so this is the university bit, right? We're part of a university, but if we don't create new knowledge, what's the point, right? We're at a major research university, but our goal is to create applied knowledge, things that have immediate practical implications. So we want to do something that we can use out in the field. We also like to play the role, to some degree, of we have this, if you will, base of the pyramid space we think is very important. And one of the things we do is we, once in a while, try and convene some of the leading thinkers. So I don't know if any of you went, we had a big conference 2 years ago, about 400 people came to Ann Arbor to talk about these issues. We've got another conference in this October, which is more of a by invitation only. We're developing an edited book. It'll be myself and CK and Stu Hart and Al Hammond, kind of taking the field where it is now and saying, okay, here, this is around 10 years. So where are we now, and how do we move it forward? And we've kind of co-created the book. The authors met last week in Ann Arbor. We're actually going to kind of present our current thinking to a group not unlike this and have them kind of help us develop our thinking along the line. So it's a fun, I think, a very different way of creating a book where we're actually going to co-create it together. And then certainly, one of the things we do is we like to share expertise. Of course, I teach, we develop cases, and we do a lot of partnering. That's kind of a way for us to ground truth, kind of our work. And this gets to the question of partnering is hopefully we create something interesting and people contact us and say, how can we work together? We're less likely to go out and reach out to people, but we want to figure out where there's intersections of where we think we've created something of value that our partners in the field think that they've created something of value. And that, to me, and that gets, somebody mentioned over here, I think it was Jocelyn, you mentioned about mutual value. It has to make sense for both of us to do this work. And we also have a lot of students, so we use them in a number of our projects as well, and they're pretty sharp folks. So this is my call to action, and this aligns with what Chris said earlier, right? So 20 years ago, I left consulting, and I went in the Peace Corps, and I went to Malawi, okay? And I did small business development. And I'll ask you, what is this picture? Who's in this picture here? What is it? Who are they? Carlos? No idea. Anyone? I'm looking through a window. What am I looking at? A classroom. This